Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. We are back PGA time, heading toward the land of the rising sun for the ZoZo. I guess it's a no-cut invitational type event. 78 players. We're going to Accordia Golf Narashino Country Club, just outside of Tokyo. And this time of the year, it's kind of like the rainy season, I guess, tropical type stuff. So be on the lookout for soft and receptive. So anyway, stacked field, but not super stacked. 16 of the top 50 players in the OWGR golf rankings in attendance. This includes our first looks since, I guess, well, Xander played in the Ryder Cup. Sung Jae, Keegan Bradley making a chance at his repeat, defending the title. Great performance by him here last year. So anyway, thanks for everybody for watching. We're going to go over the golf course, give a expanded course preview, give you a good idea on how this course looks and how it will play. There's not a lot of strokes gained data out there for this course because it is over in Japan, and the PGA strokes gained folks, shot tracker folks do not travel like that. So this will be even more important to pay attention to this video and share with a friend, subscribe to the channel, smash the like, leave a comment, tell 4 people to check out Billy Ho Sports. In addition to PGA and NFL, I also cover thoroughbred horse racing, which includes the upcoming Breeders' Cup Championships at Santa Anita Park, November 3rd and 4th, coming up next month. Contest selection, Billy Ho contest is out. I can't seem to get more than 25 people to get in it. Nobody cares about fall golf. I think the organization and the scheduling sucked because we played the Fortinet, and then we had like a week off, and then we had the Ryder Cup, and then we went to Shriners, and now we're playing ZoZo. So I don't feel like people, I feel like people are more inundated in NFL. They're not doing a good enough job in the fall swing, in my opinion, but that's our cross to bear. The diehards and the tryhards like us will be out here getting it done. So let others know Billy Ho's out there. Like I said, format, no cut. I like these events, and I seem to do a little better in these because it concentrates ownership, and obviously you get all 4 rounds, and I would rather be on that because my big problem is I always get 1 or 2 guys like last week. Last week at the Shriners, I literally had the top 3 guys. They were core plays too, and probably core plays for a lot of you guys too. I mean, it is what it is, but I didn't end up winning a whole lot of money. I only got about half the money I invested back, maybe. But I felt like I should have done a lot better. But I digress. Weather in Japan, like I said, it is the rainy season, but just on paper, it looks dry and mild this week. I know they've had plenty of rain, so expect the course to be tropical. It's green, it's lush, it's very, very soft and spongy. Zoysia grass fairways, hashtag Team Zoysia. So we'll be looking into that. And later on in the week, there does look like there's going to be 1 or 2 days of spiked wind. And I'm just not really sure. It looks like it's going to be Friday into Saturday of that range right now. So keep an eye on the weather. And I don't know with 78 players, you're going to have any kind of wave stack advantage. We'll see how it goes with the time differences and everything like that. But even though the week is looking dry, like I said, the course still should be soft. The greens should be slow and receptive. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Let's take a look at the course. Okay, Narashino, par 70, 7,079 yards. It sounds like a short course, but it's not as short as it looks. Only 4 holes with water hazards. The fairways are Zoysia grass. Like I said, Team Zoysia. I'll put up a list of other courses, and there's really only 3. I'll get to those in a minute, so hang tight. The rough is Zoysia grass, 2 inches, but not that penal. Greens are bent grass, tournament stemp of 10.5. So the course is mainly tree lined. You will see I got some feature holes out here, and I did the Pro Visualizer imaging of some interesting holes that I've identified. I'm also including screen grabs from Keegan Bradley's huge win last year. and what some of the shots he looked at off the tee and approach. So you get a better idea of what the course looks like. And now it is fairly deceiving looking because some of these shots look like the trees just engulf the entire golf course. But like I said, these are just big Japanese, just luscious looking trees. So you get in between trees and you usually you can navigate your way out okay. So, but scrambling will be important as always. You always want to be accurate off the tee, but that's not the big requirement that I'm looking for. I'm looking for distance. So, also double greens. They play 2 greens on almost every hole, I do believe, and it's just to switch back and forth. And they will switch between day 1 and day 2. Green A, green B. Throws a little monkey wrench into the plans, but when you have golf courses like this, it helps with the foot traffic and whatnot, I suppose. And I'm sure this course gets a ton of play because golf in Japan is uber popular. Okay, 5 par 3s on this golf course. And most of them are on the shorter side, like 150, 166, 185. There's one, I think, that's over 200. There are 10 par 4s. And the difference in that is none of these par 4s run from the area of 425 to 485, like that mid-range of like 90% of par 4s on the PGA Tour. They're either like 401, 410, 386, or they're 504, 510, 490. So they're either going to be really, really hard par 4s or really, really short, easier par 4s. Not your typical par 70 golf course. Par 5s come in at 590 for number 6, 616 for number 14, and 564 for the 18th hole. So in essence, 16 and 18 are reachable by the longer hitters. And I'd say there's not going to be a lot of run out, obviously, with the spongy ZoZo grass and the tropical temperate type zone there. So most of them, especially 14, is going to be 3-shot holes for a lot. That's why I want bombers, so I can get there in 2 and take advantage of those par 5s. And you can add in par 3 stats. I'm going to flash some stats that I'll be interested in along the way, like 200 plus approach, approach from 125 to 175, things of that nature. Also, a little bit of a screen grab of a similar course, Club de Golf Chapultepec. If you remember that course where we held WGC's Mexico Championship from 2017 to 2020 there, and you can see by the look of this, just a brief snippet of it, that it is most definitely luscious, undulating fairways, a little bit of undulating greens. A third of the course are dog legs. The rough's really not that penal. Putting surfaces are small, well defended by bunkers, and the green complex is contoured, making approach shots a little bit more challenging. But yes, like I said, we are on ZoZo grass fairways and rough, hashtag Team ZoZo. Like I said, the players, and I used to make a bigger deal out of this than it was, but now since we do have like 3 courses on the rotation year in and year out, East Lake for the Tour Championship, Southwind, TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude, and then TPC Craig Ranch for Byron Nelson feature ZoZo grass fairways. So if you want to take a look at who has the best approach game there, more than welcome to. It's kind of like a tiebreaker or an extra angle to play, in my opinion. So getting into skill sets, let's take a look at Rick Rungood's website. Okay, and here we have the top of the board here. We're looking at Xander. Let's see. Xander 11-100 is the top dog. And as I go through my notes here, we are looking for distance off the tee, always important. Like I said, the greens are slow. So slow bent grass putting is also something that I'm looking for. And as you can see, it's getting dark out in Louisville in the fall, so I'm losing my natural light. So I kind of look a little bit hazy in the background, but that's okay. So players, everybody, honestly, from 8,500 and up looks in play to me. I couldn't include Vincent Double R Norman because he's just not there. Keith Mitchell's been awful lately. Svensson's pretty decent, but but you start here with Bo Hostler at 8,500, and you can see Bo Hostler in his three straight. This is the best I've seen Bo Hostler in about the 7 years I've been playing PGA DFS. Is consistency wise, he usually pops once or twice a year, especially in Texas. Bent grass greens he likes, but he finished 16th here last year, so that's encouraging. Grillo, I like him on bent grass. He's missed 2 straight cuts. He needs to get his shit together, but he came in 4th here last year, so I don't see any reason why he couldn't have a decent performance here on some flop lag. He let some people down. There's going to be some other flop lag down here that I'll show you in a second. But then you got guys like Cam Davis, who's just been lights out lately at 9,500. He just seems like he's overpriced in this range to me, which means he's probably going to be, if you gave me 8,500 to 11 up top, I think Cam Davis might be the lowest owned in this range, or Minwoo Lee, since we haven't seen Minwoo Lee since, I don't know, the Open Championship. I'm sure he's played overseas, or, go look him up in the golfer profiles. He's probably played in the Kazoo Open or something along the way in the European style. But Keegan is your champion. We haven't seen him since Tour Championship. But Decky bonked out at the BMW. We know his history with the neck pain, but he won this tournament. So 2022, he won it when we returned back over here. Ricky Fowler is very interesting to me at 10K flat. He's been played. Obviously, we've been made record of his improved play over the last year. He made the Ryder Cup team. He was runner up here last year. Sung Jae, this is you would think he'd be better, but he played 2020. Ignore that third, because I do believe that was Sherwood here in the United States because of COVID. So I'm not so sure where we're at on Sung Jae, but Morikawa, and he's had some mixed results. But Xander's been pretty soft or pretty sharp here. And Xander, other than winning all the tournaments, had a fantastic season. So obviously he's the top price guy for a reason. But going down a little bit, the first guy that came to mind, funny enough, was Adam Schenk. Talk about flop leg. The guy gains almost 2 strokes fantasy points. Good approach game, hammers it off the tee. He's a lot longer than 296. Greens in regulation, way up there. And he was a very, very popular play at Shriners because of his course history there. But he's got good finishes. He skipped, I believe, 2020, that's Sherwood, but he still had 16th and 28th. So he's got good history and experience on this golf course. And going back down a little bit further, Tom Hoagie falls in the same boat, even though he's a little bit distance challenged. The guy can still spin the wedges. He's a guy that can lay up on those par fives and knock it stiff from 90 yards out. So I still have confidence in Hollywood Hoagie. Going down a little further, I mean, if you just want to look at see who's had decent history here, back-to-back great finishes. Joel Damon, he's another kind of shortish knocker guy, but he's very accurate. And when he gets on a roll, he can roll. And he's had some really, really good finishes at Sanderson and Shriners. Down a little further, Cam Champ seems to be showing a bit of a resurgency here. He's probably going to be super popular. 7,100, no cut event. I like Cam Champ in no cut events. An 18th and a 9th place finish his last 2 events. He had 8th here last year. He hammers it off the tee any way you want to go about doing it. And if he can just get that putter rolling, perfectly fine. So Cam Champ's on the radar. Filing down a little further, what I'd be looking for is distance. This guy's a local dude, I guess. Nakajima hits at 305. So there will be some Japan invitees from the Japanese tour and whatnot. So there might be 1 or 2 guys to be interested in, but I wouldn't go out of your way looking for them. Dude like Mackenzie Hughes has had some good results. Scrambling around the green is very important here as well. So if we want to just finish things off with a 78 player, we'll start a little build over here with the lineups. And let's just start with sort of a balanced type build at first. And we'll just go ahead and put Ricky in here. And then maybe Mr. Back-to-back Keegan's. And then you can go down here, like I mentioned, Shank. And all the way down, we'll just talk about all the guys I mentioned. And then there you go. Now you got 7,800 per player for your next two. And 4 solid guys that can score some DraftKings points. The strategy will be like this. And we'll close it out here. Strategy will be like this. Leave money on the table. $300 to $500 is fine. That way you're not going to get duplicated. That takes care of that pretty much. Skip around, and if you have websites like rickrungood.com or runs, whatever type of solver or whatnot that gives you ownership projections, go start looking through when ownership comes out and see what you're working with as far as pivots, because when you get 4 rounds and you only have 78 players, it's a lot easier to play the ownership game with the pivots and find a guy like player A who's just as likely as player B to play well, but he's 9% owned compared to 22%. That's the way to go. And you don't have to have everybody in your lineup. You could play 3 chalky players. You could play Xander. You could play, 60% in your first 3 guys. And then just as long as you find a couple of dudes that are 7 to 9% owned, you're probably going to be in good shape. So until the next video, appreciate you watching. Tell a friend, smash the like, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Who you got this week? Let me know. Shout out to the Billy Host Flophouse Discord. Let's get this done, fellas. Peace.